Hello everyone, and welcome back to Divine Rebel. My name is Racy, and I'm going to be giving the messages for you today. For those of you who are new to me and the channel, please be aware I have no filter, and I do not sugarcoat my messages. So if that is not your thing, or you have children around, or you just don't appreciate that kind of a message, I am always very respectful of that, and I'm giving you the opportunity to sign off now. Otherwise, we are going to be getting right into the message. This is for Taurus and those with strong Taurian placements in their chart. So if you know what house Taurus rules and what's in there, this might be able to give you some very specific insights into certain areas of your life. Okay? So with that said, Taurus, your milestone for the month of October is the Hanged Man. And Sagittarius also got this card, so if you have strong Sag placements or you're dealing with one in your reality that might hold some kind of connection there. With the Sagittarian reading, I was drawn to the halo, but with your reading, I'm very much drawn to the bones, right? The structure of it. And with this energy, Taurus, and Uranus being retrograde in your house, and Uranus being a planet of the higher mind and humanity, I'm just kind of feeling like this is more about shifting the structure of the mind, right? The higher vision on the whole. I think your milestone has to do a lot more with the physical world possibly feeling upside down, right? The actual physical world feeling upside down. Or you're not seeing how maybe your thoughts have you hanging upside down, right? The whole structure, the foundation of the higher thought needs to shift. With that said, getting into the month's cards, I have the Death card clarified by the Nine of Swords, which I further clarified with the Judgment card. We have the Six of Cups with the Movement of Pentacles in the Universe, or the World card with the Seven of Pentacles. The Death card is transformation and going through the cycles and coming from a pure place, right? A pure, unconditionally loving place. And that energy of transformation is being applied to cycles of anxiety and feeling judged. Okay. Feeling like, because I got this real strong feeling of having real anxiety over being judged or criticized, or wondering if you've made a mistake, right? Wondering if you've made a mistake with something that you did, not realizing, you know what I mean? And needing to see something there. Because I feel like whatever the anxiety over the judgment is, and I'm hearing the word ridicule, like people would ridicule you. I think you might need to get beyond that, or that's what's transforming at the beginning of the month. Maybe you're having anxiety about being different or shining different, you know, because everybody else stands up, but you prefer to hang upside down, and people are like, why would you prefer to hang upside down? You know what I mean? So it's almost like this fear of being different or choosing a different path in order to transform things. And whatever you're doing, right, whatever you are having this anxiety about being judged over, whatever you're going through as far as like the transformation and the new you and people seeing it and all that stuff, I feel like you're a little shaky and unsure of yourself just because it's so different. And with the Six of Cups and the Movement of Pentacles, this is a sacred soulmate energy or a deep sacred connection that's slow moving. but it's solid. Okay, it's slow moving, but it's solid. So however this applies to your chart, there's something you're afraid of being judged on, but ultimately I feel like you did it because you have this sacred connection with your own self. Like you understand the unicorn element of you being different, right? And what you're doing being different. And you're doing it from a very solid place, a very methodical, step-by-step place. It's almost like having to rebuild. It's almost like having to rebuild. And I say that wholeheartedly because with the Universe card, the World card, and the Seven of Pentacles, and this representing to me in this deck like a family tree, right? I feel like your family might be your whole world, but the family is also lacking in growth. They're lacking in growth. And this card, I was just super drawn to the fact that, you know, the concentric circles and all of this imagery, like that looks like an iris, and a sunflower even, you know, like there's all these different things, like the queen bee, the sweetness of life. Like I think you see it differently. I think you see it differently. And even though this is a Saturn card, if you flip this upside down and look at that energy, it's almost similar to the symbol for Ceres, which to me is like a broken heart chakra kind of energy, and it's reversed with the world upright. And so it's like being drawn to that, I feel like you're not at a loss. I think you're seeing the world in a bright way. I think you're seeing the world in a way that it can be sweet. It can be full and fixed in that energy. It can feel complete. And I think that's kind of what you're bringing to this tree. It's almost like pollinating. Like making sure everybody gets what they need, where they need it in order to grow strong. Like maybe the seed that pollinated over in the first place wasn't great, and so you're pollinating in a different area. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what? You kind of get what I'm saying. It's you're different than you were. You're thinking different than you were. You're seeing different than you were. And you're feeling out your uniqueness. And I think if your whole world was not growing like it should before, I think you're wrapping up the cycle on that. I think you're wrapping up the cycle on that. I think you might have chosen a different path, which is why you're having this anxiety, but I think ultimately you still know you did choose the right path. It just seems slower. It just seems slower because maybe the other path is fast moving. You know, everybody does it. It's comfortable, blah, blah, blah. It's like a fast moving way of life and thinking. But it's almost like fast things crash. You know what I mean? So going slow and steady and building a certain way from a different perspective is actually more lucrative or filling or whole in the long game because it's not going to crash later. You know what I mean? It's not going to crash on you later. You'll have already been solid and creating growth, right? In what would have been bare otherwise. And this, you know, being your guidance card, the power of attraction, card number 13, it's like the death card. You're attracting the transformation. Again, we have all this honeycomb imagery, right? The bees, it's mirroring in this card. Like your world, what you attract is where your intention comes from, right? That pure intention to transform, that you know that there's cycles, you know that there's steps, you know that there's depths that have to be reached in order to make progress. And I think what you're attracting it like a bead of honey. Like you're getting the sweetness of life. You're getting the divine mirror. You're getting the balance with this card. And you got to remember that. If anything, you have to remember that because this little bit of doubt here, this fear of judgment or criticism or did I make the right choice? I think you have to understand you're attracting everything you need with the right intention. Don't even worry about it. You know what I mean? Your intention's good. And if you know your intention's good and it resonates what you're doing for you, then you don't have to have anxiety about anything. And it will take its time, but it will be perfect in the end. It will get you what you need, right? It'll yield the result. It's just a matter of being patient in the process while the result yields itself. And remember, acceptance. You're ready to release control of situations or people and lovingly embrace the rhythm of life. Like, you just got to go with it. You just got to go with it. Like, if you are doing what you're meant to be doing for you, don't try and make it go any faster than it's going, because going faster crashes. Don't get ahead of yourself and crash and fall on your face. You know what I mean? Don't get ahead of yourself. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Slow and steady wins the race, and I think you're doing it in a different way, and that's okay. It's different for you. It's different for everybody to witness, but it's right. So whatever family situation or dynamic, right? Because family, it could be blood family, soul family, work family, friendship family. It doesn't matter what kind of family dynamic. It's you needing to know that maybe not everybody is growing up to speed with you. And if you feel like your growth is slow, imagine where they're at. You know what I mean? If they're constantly racing and crashing and racing and crashing, where the fuck are they going? Nowhere. Nowhere. You're set on making some kind of progress, and you're fixed in that. So kudos to you, Taurus, for being fixed in it. Just remember, you know, if other people aren't keeping up, that's okay. That's okay. Embrace it for what it is. If they're meant to come back at a different time and they're growing, you know, and they're up to speed, they're not, you know, judging you or whatever, great. And in the meantime, anybody who would judge you, like, or tell you that what you did was wrong or whatever, or just the voices in your head telling you that, just turn it off. Like, you did right by yourself. Let that be your confirmation. You did right by yourself. Whatever you chose at the beginning with the transformation, you chose right. You chose right. It might not be growing as fast as you want, but you're attracting a whole lot of sweet. Whole lot of sweet. All right. So I hope this message has reached you in divine time always. If you want more from me, all my information is below. Until next time, Divine Rebel Racy is signing off. Remember always to love each other, and most importantly, love yourselves. Take care.